Hello and welcome back to episode 41 of Steinsgate. Where we last left off, we came to the horrible conclusion that in order to save Mayuri, we have to go back to the original timeline where Kirisu died. So we got to figure that out. We're nearing the tail end of the series. We are on chapter 10 and I believe there's 11 chapters. We still have 3 or 4 endings, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So if you like videos like this and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. Let me know down below what you want to see next, and without further ado, let's jump back into it. It's afternoon on the first day of Kamimon. The crowds are finally beginning to thin out. Of course, the industry booths and cosplay areas are still packed, but at least I don't have to wait in line to get in. I've been trying to get in touch with Mayuri for a while now, but she hasn't responded. I checked with Daru, but he hasn't seen her today either. Cosplay ends at 4 p.m. I focus on searching the cosplay area until then, but I still can't find her. Maybe she finished early and went home. I tried calling her home, no luck. They haven't seen her since she left this morning. Where is she? I'm always afraid that she'll disappear the second I take my eyes off of her. It's been like that ever since she lost her grandmother. Maybe it's just my imagination. We've been so close for so long. I saw Mayuri at her weakest and most vulnerable. Maybe that has made me overprotective. But I don't care how other people see us. I just can't leave Mayuri alone. I step into the cemetery, the final resting place of Mayuri's beloved grandmother. When was the last time I came here? For about a year after Mayuri became my hostage, I periodically accompanied her here. But I don't think I've been here since I entered high school, so it's been about 3 or 4 years. As I get closer to Mayuri's grandmother's grave, I begin to hear her voice. It's Mayuri. I'd recognize her voice anywhere. It sounds like she's talking to someone. I approach quietly. Oh, and Mayuri's been acting weird and being like, I'm glad I'm finally useful and stuff like that. Mayuri's crouched down, talking to the grave. What a relief she hasn't disappeared. I decide to watch silently from a short distance away. For a second, I wonder if she's learned to commune with the dead, but no, she's just talking to herself.
その夢の中ではね、いつもマユシーはひどい目に遭うの。ピストルでバーンって撃たれたり、車の事故に巻き込まれたり、電車にひかれたり。
So she's having all the experiences of the different world lines that we've experienced. Don't tell me.
まるで本当のことみたいで、すごく痛くて、すごく悲しくて、誰か助けてって一生懸命声を出そうとするけど出せなくて、どうしてそんな夢見るのかな。
Does she remember her deaths, all of them? Is she inheriting memories like I do?
でね、その夢の最後はいつも決まってるの。マユシーが泣いてるとね、オカリンが助けに来てくれるんだ。
Well, that's sweet.
マユシーはオカリンにありがとう、ありがとうって言うんだけど、その声もオカリンには聞こえてなくて、オカリンはマユシーを抱きしめて、とっても悲しそうな顔をしてた。泣いちゃいそうだけど、絶対に泣かなくてね。でも一生懸命我慢してるのがわかるの。
Come to think of it, both Paris and Luca remembered their memories from before the past changed. I used to think that memories couldn't be shared between world lines. I used to think that I was the exception with breathing Steiner. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe everyone has the same power and the only difference is how strong it is. Maybe reading Steiner is nothing special after all.
だからマユシーも悲しくなってごめんねごめんねって言うけど、やっぱり声は届かなくて、そこでいつも目が覚めるんだ。どうしてこんな夢見るのかな。
I failed so many times to save her. I watched her die again and again. Everything I've done has been to prevent that from happening. And yet, have the memories of those deaths been tormenting her as she sleeps? I bite my lip in frustration. I still have a terrible decision to make. Do I save Mayuri or do I save Kirisu? There's no perfect ending here, I can't save them both. It's one or the other. If I choose Kirisu, then Mayuri's dreams will become reality. I don't want Mayuri to feel any pain. Until now, I've thought only of saving her. That is my goal. But at the same time, I can't let Kirisu die. Again, my thoughts hit the same dead end. Mayuri hasn't noticed me yet. She's still staring at the sky just as she was on the day I took her hostage. She's talking to her grandmother in heaven.
あ、そうそう。最近ラボメンがすごく増えたんだよ。クリスちゃんでしょ、萌香さん、ルカ君、フェリスちゃん、それともう引っ越しちゃっていないけどすずさん。8人だよ。すごいね。
On this world line, they all became lab mems. However, not a single one of them has sent a D-mail.
最初はオカリンとマユシーの2人だけだったのにね。ラボができたばっかりの頃はね、オカリンはあんまり面白そうじゃなかったけど、最近はね、とっても楽しそうなんだよ。
Well, that's sweet that she at least thinks that way. Is that how she sees it? Well, she's not wrong. She really does know me, doesn't she?
そんなオカリンを見てるとね、マユシーも嬉しくなってニコニコできるの。それにね、賑やかだとウキウキしてくるし、特にクリスちゃんはね、アメリカの有名な本に論文が載ったりして、とっても頭がいいんだよ。マユシーは憧れちゃうのです。タイムマシンだって作っちゃうぐらいなんだから。あ、これはオカリンとダルくんも一緒に作ってたけどね。
Then Mayuri falls silent. Her gaze becomes distant. She stands still and looks up to the sky. What could she be thinking?
でもね、たまに思うんだ。最初、マユシーが押しかけて、ラボに二人きりだった時のこと。学校が終わってラボに行くとね、オカリンはいないの。でね、お部屋の片付けしたり、可愛い小物を飾り付けたりしてるうちに、オカリンが少し遅れてやってきて、マユシーがおかえりって言うと、オカリンはただいまとは言わなくて、ご苦労って偉そうに答えてた。その後は毎日2時間ぐらい2人でぼんやり過ごして、一緒に電車でお家に帰るの。その2時間はね、
Jealousy, perhaps.
会話なんてほとんどなくて、でも嫌な沈黙とかじゃなくて、ただそこにいるっていう感じで、2人で並んでソファーに座って、オカリンはラボの作戦計画書みたいなのを書いてて、マユシーは漫画読んだりゲームしたりして、たまに思い出したようにね、一緒にお菓子を食べてた。とてもゆっくり優しく時間が流れてて、それでいい
But
か
now,
ななんて思ったり、まるでマユシーは本当に人質になっちゃったみたいだなとかふと思って、一人でえへへって笑ったり、オカリンはニコニコしてるマユシーを見てね、こういうの。
I remember. It was 4 months ago, still spring. The lab wasn't as lively as it is now. It was an isolated bubble of slow-moving time.
何かいいことでもあったのか？
いいことはなかったけど、あったよ。
そうか、幻想を見たのだろう。それはもしかすると機関の幹部の一人、通称イリュージョンコンダクターからの攻撃である可能性がある。
そっか。じゃあ気をつけなきゃ。でもね、きっとそのイリュージョンコダクさんっていう人は
コダクさんではない、コンダクターだ。
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
その人はきっと悪い人じゃないと思うな。
It was nothing, just meaningless chatter to pass the time.
それはマユシーにはすごく心地よくて、なんだか泣きそうなくらい嬉しくて、このままずっと続いてほしいなって思ってた。
And now it's ruined.
今の賑やかさが嫌ってわけじゃないんだよ。
Mayuri shakes her head in denial. Finally, she stops looking up at the sky and bows her head instead.
最近ね、オカリンと話す時間ちょっと減っちゃった。
Oh, she thinks we moved on, basically.
だからね、マユシーは寂しくなっちゃったのかもしれないね。
It's true, I haven't had time to talk to her lately. But that's because I've been fighting to prevent her death. To keep her dreams from coming true. All so that Mayuri will keep smiling. I never again want to see her cry like she did on the day her grandmother died.
でもね、オカリンの重荷にはなりたくないんだ。
That word again, burden. I never thought of her as a burden.
マユシーはいつもオカリンに迷惑かけてばっかりだから。ねえ、おばあちゃん。
Mayuri lifts her face once more.
いつまでもこのままじゃいられないよね。
このままでいい。
Oh? What an awful thing to intrude like that, but I guess I kind of get it. When I finally speak to Mayuri, she turns my way with a surprised expression. Her face is so soft, so innocent. Slowly, her lips curve into a smile.
オカリンだー。すごいね。どうしてここにいるってわかったの？
人質がどこにいるのか、俺は常に把握しているのだ。
人質。
だからお前は俺の手からは逃れられん。絶対にだ。
Call it Stockholm Syndrome.
そっか。でもね、あんまり無理したらダメだよ。マユシーはね、ちょっぴり心配なのです。
お前に心配されるほどこの法王院京馬はヤワではないのだ。マユリ、話せる時が来たら全て話す。
ほえ？
だからそれまでお前は何も変わらずにいてくれ。
Mayuri stands up and turns to the grave once more. As an offering, she leaves a brand new white lily as well as some dango dumplings.
オカ
Or
リン、
dango.
帰ろう。
帰る前に団子を食べるんだろ。
Back when we used to visit the cemetery together, it was part of our daily routine to eat dango on the way back.
もちろんだよ。
How sweet. Well, too bad she's gonna die. Oh no, it's the sad music. I spoke too soon. Kiba is empty again today. The Otaku have all made the exodus to Kamima for the second day of battle. But come nightfall, they will return to Akiba like a victorious army laden with spoils, and the streets will be chaos. I know Daru has gone to Kamima. The question is, has Mayuri? I hope she has. I want things to be normal again. I remember what I heard yesterday, the feeling Mayuri expressed at her grandmother's grave. The events of the last few weeks have affected her as well. After I escorted Mayuri home from the cemetery, I spent the whole night racking my brain for a third option, a way out of this mess. My thoughts were a jumble, ideas coming and going too fast to judge which were right and which were wrong. But of course, there isn't a right choice here. For in the end, it always comes back to the same question, who do I let die? And no matter how I try to dance around it, the answer is always the same. I can't choose. Is there no one else who can make this decision? No, even if there were, I know I'd never accept their choice, whichever it happened to be. Once again, I'm heading for the roof of the Radikan. I had to get out of the lab. Mayuri or Kirisu might return at any moment, and I can't face them now. I look up at the sky. The clouds are dark and heavy. It could start raining any minute now. I thought that I was alone, but someone was here before me. Kirisu is lying in the middle of the roof, arms and legs spread as if making a snow angel. Okay. The image of Kirisu in a pool of blood flashes through my mind. Is she alright? I run toward her, but before I make it halfway, she suddenly sits up and turns to face me. What a dumb thing to say. Fortunately, it looks like Kirisu didn't hear me. She's busy combing her disheveled hair with her fingers. I breathe a silent sigh of relief, and she was like, when we told Kirisu that we would either have to kill her or Mayuri, she's like, surely there has to be another way, but maybe she couldn't rack her brain. Was she thinking about her death? I don't know what to say, so I keep my mouth shut. Kirisu appears to be in the same boat. She's staring at the capsule toy dispenser in the corner, her face wearing the usual frown. The awkward silence drags on. When you think about it, Kirisu's fate rests in my hands. My decision will determine whether she lives or dies. Her fantastic hypothesis yesterday was a desperate attempt to construct a scenario where she doesn't die. Even if she believes that her theory is correct, it must be difficult for her to avoid imagining her own death. I force a smile. I'm getting really uncomfortable here. Darn, I was expecting a sarcastic remark like, since when do mad scientists have manners or something? Just then, something cold lands on the tip of my nose. Snow. Or rain, that makes sense too since it's, August. When I look up, raindrops start landing on my forehead. An evening shower, it's only going to get more intense and quickly. Kirisu hasn't moved a muscle. She's just standing there with her arms folded, staring at the ground as if she doesn't notice the rain at all.
Oi.
She's acting strange, like her mind is elsewhere. I knew it. She's been thinking about... In less than a minute, the rain turns into a full downpour. We had no time to seek shelter. Kirisu's scream is drowned out by the roar of the rain. Oh, this is where she died. Or when we found her anyway. Now safely inside the building, we take a moment to catch our breath. It's been a week since Suzuha's time machine disappeared, but Radikan is still closed. The lights are off and it's pretty dark inside. Even in the dim light, I can tell that Kirisu is scrambling to cover her chest. She's too self-conscious. But the color of her underwear, huh? Gotta be white. But maybe the Mongolian spot will shine through.
すまん。
Please spare me that horror. Still, these wisecracks are a welcome distraction.
夕立ならすぐに止むわよね。それまで待つか。
I see Kirisu's shadowy form move to sit on the staircase. I sit next to her.
なんで横に。なんで。
喋るなと言ったのはお前だ、クリスティーナ。
あんまり近くに来ないでよ。今ぐらいの距離が限界だから。これ以上離れるとは言わないけど、これ以上近づいたら押し返すからな。
Our bodies gradually grow cold. We start shivering. Maybe I should take off my wet clothes. But if I do that, Kirisu will just call me a perv again. Better not. My eyes gradually adjust to the darkness. I can see Kirisu more clearly now. She's huddled up against the wall.
こっち見んな。
バカな。この暗さでは俺がどこを見ているかなどわからないはず。
Does she have infravision?
やっぱり見てたのか。
Darn, she used leading question on me. That's such a high-level technique. I avert my eyes from Kirisu and take off my lab coat. That's when I notice my coat is torn at the shoulder.
屋上から避難した時にどこかに引っ掛けたか。
何の話。
いや、上着の肩口が破れかけていた。
岡部ってドジっ子だったの。
俺はマッドサイエンティスト属性であってドジっ子属性など持っていない。
It seems like forever since I talked to Kirisu as Hohoin Kyuma.
はいはい。
Kirisu suddenly holds out her hand.
ほら、貸しなさいよ。
What, you just have a sewing kit on you?
何？
ちょうどソーイングセット持ってるから。
That's crazy. I don't know why she had that, unless she was planning to do something.
ソーイングセットだと？お前が？
悪いか。
I hand over my coat as she asked.
実験大好きっ子のくせにそんな家庭的なものを？
実験大好きっ子であると同時に家庭的な女の子かもしれないじゃない。
家庭的な女の子なのか？
相対的に見れば家庭的かもね。と言っても日本の女子高生の家庭的女の子指数がどれくらいか知らないけど。
There's an index for that? First I've heard of it. Kirisu skillfully threads the needle despite the darkness.
濡れてるから針が通りにくいな。
本当に偶然持っていたのか？
しつこい。そんなに私がソーイングセット持ってたら悪いの？
Also, just thinking about it, I mean, in theory, we're the only ones who've used the time machine, but we've been so busy, we wouldn't know if someone else has used it, right? I mean, the first time we saw someone else use it was, oh, what's her name? Mr. Braun's kid. So I wonder if she's used it.
まるで狙ったかのようだったからな。
つまりあんたが服を破ってしまうのを見越してあらかじめ用意していたって言ってもらいたいんですね。わかります。そんなわけあるか。
It's not like I'm a time traveler or something.
それと勘違いしないでほしいんだけど、別に好きで縫ってあげてるわけじゃないんだからね。
出たな、ツンデレセリフ。
茶化すな。あんたが偶然服を破って、私は偶然ソーイングセットを持っていた。だから縫ってあげている。それだけ。
偶然ね。まさかお前タイムリープしているということはないよな。
Well, it's just like what I was just thinking. They call that priming.
つまりあんたが服を破ってしまったからタイムリープして事前にソーイングセットを用意したって言ってもらいたいんですね。わかります。そんなわけあるか、そんなわけあるか。大事なことなので2回言いました。アンダースタン？
確かに わざわざタイムリープして対策を練るならば、ソーイングセットではなくタオルを用意しておくのが先だからな。
何それ、皮肉？文句ばっかり。
After working for a while, Kirisu cuts the string with her teeth and hands me back my coat.
ほら。
ありがとう。
出来については暗くて確認できないけど、もし仮に出来が悪くても私の腕のせいじゃない。この暗さのせいよ、きっと。ちなみに糸の色についても何が出るかお楽しみに。
色もランダムなのか。
黒か赤かピンク、確率は3分の1。
せめてピンクが出ないように祈ろう。寒い。
Oh.
まあね。
Or that's the color of something else.
それだって濡れてるでしょ。
まあそうだが。
Silence again. The words flow so naturally when it's just harmless banter, but 1 second of silence and suddenly we have nothing to say. It must be because of what happened yesterday. I'm so desperate to avoid the topic that nothing seems safe. I know I need to say something, but what?
結論は出た。
Ooh. Her voice is barely a whisper, but I can hear her clearly in the silence of the empty stairwell. I look at Kirisu. She's hugging her knees to her chest, presumably against the cold. My decision. I know what she means. That's why I can't answer.
まだ悩んでるの？あんたってまゆりのこと好きなんでしょ？
何？
Where did that come from? Kirisu keeps staring into the darkness.
ただの錯覚かもしれないけど、私の心の中に奇妙な記憶というかデジャブみたいなものがある。そこではあんたはまゆりを助けようと必死になってて、一人で傷つきながらそれでも前に突き進もうとしてるの。
Kirisu too?
そんな岡部が私に相談をしてきて、そのひたむきに頑張ってる姿を見て、私も力になってあげたいと思ったり。って別にあんたを助けたいって思ったわけじゃないからな。私はあくまでまゆりを助けたいだけであって。とにかく私にはなぜかそんな錯覚が記憶のように残ってる。
So Kirisu's the same. She still has faint memories from previous world lines.
自己分析してみたけど、夢で見たものを現実と思い込んでるのか、単なる願望か、それぐらいの結論しか出なかった。ただこれだけははっきりしてる。
Oh?
あんたはまゆりを助けるべきなのよ。
Oh, she's saying sacrifice me, save her.
怖くないのか。
To save Mayuri, I must undo the current world line. If I do that, Kirisu will die. Then no time travel or anything.
廃墟に迷い込んだみたい。
Kirisu suddenly changes the subject. She looks around the dark, empty stairwell.
まるで世界中の電源が切られて、私たちだけ取り残されたみたい。ふと思うんだ。もしあんたがベータ世界線に行ったとする。みんなも一斉にそっちに移動するとしたら、私だけは移動できない。私だけが取り残される。そうしたら世界中がこの場所みたいになっちゃうのかな。
How awful.
所詮これも仮説の一つだけど。
俺は
I need to say it.
お前も救う。まゆりだけじゃなくて、お前も。
できもしないこと言わなくていい。
Kirsu cuts me off sharply, then buries her face in her knees.
怖くないかってさっき聞いた。怖いに決まってるでしょ。自分が消えるかもしれない。自分だけが取り残されるかもしれない。あるいはあんただけがこの世界線からいなくなるかもしれない。誰もあんたがいなくなったことを認識してない世界がずっと続いていって、私は何事もなかったかのようにアメリカに帰るかもしれない。かもしれない。かもしれない。かもしれない。そんないろんな可能性を考えて、その度に絶望的な気分になる。でも
Kirsu raises her head and spears me with her glare.
だからマユリを見殺しにしろなんて言えると思う？
クリス。
もうなんか寒いな。
Kirsu grabs her own arms. In the darkness, I see her shoulders shaking.
濡れてる服着てる青年。たくダメだ。こんなの全然論理的じゃない。仮説にすらなってない。全部根拠のない妄想。こんなしょうもない妄想を垂れ流す脳の機能をカットしてやりたい。
Now she's talking to herself in an angry tone. Kirsu has always been calm when faced with the unknown. I admired her for that. I thought she was facing this calmly too, but I was wrong. Behind her cool facade, she was struggling to cope with the knowledge that her very existence was in jeopardy. She was fighting that fear all alone, and now it has finally come to the surface. Of course she's afraid. However brilliant she may be, she's still just an 18-year-old girl. Kirsu abruptly stands up. I realize that I no longer hear the sound of rain pounding on the roof.
聞いて、岡部。両方救うのは無理。そうでしょ。どうあがいたって確率は2分の1なの。
だが
じゃない。私の結論は変わらない。マユリを助けて。
I hear the pain in her voice and also the resolve. Kirsu has made up her mind. I look away and clench my fist, my nails dig into the palm of my hands.
そう簡単に諦めろっていうのか。お前を見捨てろっていうのか。そんなのできるはずがないだろう。
できるかできないかじゃない。あんたをやらなくちゃいけない。それしか道はない。
ダメだ。お前は俺たちの大切な仲間だ。俺はお前も見捨てない。
岡部。
Kirsu drops to her knees and grabs me by the collar. I gasp for breath as she stares into my eyes. Her eyes are hard and stern. It's always like this when she scolds me. Always the same glare.
他に解決策があるの？ないんでしょ。私はマユリを犠牲にしてまで生きていたくない。もしマユリを助けなかったらあんたを一生恨むから。
How awful. Just a horrible situation. This can't be happening. I hate this choice with no right answer. I hate the world for being so cruel. And most of all, I hate myself for forcing Kirsu to speak these words when she's the one with the most to lose. Tears well up in my eyes, but I bite my lip and hold them back. Is there really no other way? I can't bear it. I look straight back at Kirsu as she holds me by the collar and tightly embraced her slender body. Her clothes are still wet from the rain, but all I feel is warmth radiating from the core of her being.
お前はここにいるのにこんなのあんまりだ。
岡部。
Tension drains from her back and her hands. She gives her whole body over to my embrace.
ありがとう。私のためにそこまで苦しんでくれて。でももう十分。私は大丈夫だから。 あとマユリのことだけ考えて。
Despite her fear, Kirisu has made her choice. It's time for me to do the same. I need to decide here and now. Ruh-roh, Reggie. The future of the world. Which friend to let die? Holding Kirisu tightly, I whispered into her ear.
すまない。
A meaningless apology.
俺はマユリだけは
Oh,
どうしても救いたいから。
these words are a death sentence, but I force myself to speak them. It takes every ounce of willpower I possess.
お前を助けられない。
When I finish, I feel as if a great weight has left my shoulders, and at the same time as if 1,000 needles are stabbing into my heart. Kirisu weakly returns my embrace. Then she lets go and stands up.
さてと。
There's already a look of relief on her face.
先に帰る。
帰るってどこへ？
To America?
ラボに決まってるでしょ。服を乾かさないと。シャワーも浴びたいし。
In that case, we should go back together. But before I can suggest it, Kirisu beats me to the punch as if she read my mind.
あんたはそこでずぶ濡れのまましばらく待ってて。わかった？
We can't go back together. That's her verdict.
わかった。
I hang my head and shut my eyes. Kirisu's footsteps fade into the distance. I wrap my arms around my body. Even though it's summer and sweltering hot, I can't stop my body from shaking. I realize that part of me is relieved that Kirisu left alone. At least I won't have to face her again to look upon the face of the girl I chose to die. I'm a coward. So this must be Mayuri's route then. Because originally when we with Mocha didn't send the D-mail, I thought that would be Mocha's line, but I guess not. My self-loathing echoes in the darkness. I wait about 2 hours before returning to the lab. Cease to inquire that the future has in store and take as a gift whatever the day brings forth. Horace, Italian philosopher. I'm going back to my hotel. Do what needs to be done. Good night. Oh, wow. That's pretty sad, but I understand. All she left is a single email. I sit down on the sofa while drying my hair with a towel. I look toward the PC in the corner of the room. It's already connected to the IBM 5100, ready for Daru to start hacking. I already got in touch with him. The hacking starts tomorrow at noon. I drove myself in further into a corner by telling that to Daru. Now I can't turn back no matter how much I want to. I chose Mayuri. I will let Kirisu die. Showering didn't soften the wrenching pain in my heart. In truth, I'm just writing on Kirisu's resolve. Mine is still a flimsy thing. I can't help but wonder, is she really okay? Or is this really okay? Really?
誰かいますか？
Mary opens the door and enters. For a moment after she catches sight of me, she looks ready to burst into tears. But that quickly gives way to a smile.
オカリンだ。
どうした？
なんとなく来てみたの。
I swallow hard. Maybe I should explain the situation to Mayuri. But I know she'll feel guilty if I tell her. Mayuri doesn't need to know. Everything will be okay as long as we crack CERN's database and reach the Beta World Line.
最近ね、オカリンと話す時間ちょっと減っちゃった。でもね、オカリンの重荷にはなりたくないんだ。
Can I really let it end like this? Shouldn't I tell her what Kirisu is sacrificing for her sake?
もしかしてシャワー浴びてたの？
Mary moves behind the sofa, grabs the bath towel on my head, and starts rubbing my hair dry.
オカリン、シャンプーのいい匂いがするね。
I didn't mind the towel so much, but then she buries her nose into my hair and starts sniffing.
やめんか。
I jerk my head away. Mayuri goes back to drying my hair.
今日ね、コミマ行かなかったよ。
なぜだ。
オカリンのこと気になっちゃったのです。オカリンの辛そうな顔を思い出したらね、コミマを楽しんでなんかいられないなって。だから
That's too bad.
有明まで行ったけど参加せずに帰ってきたの。
そうか。悪かったな。心配かけて。
Should I tell her? Or should I keep her in the dark?
最近ね、オカリンと話す時間ちょっと減っちゃった。だからね、マユシーは寂しくなっちゃったのかもしれないね。
マユリ、もし俺がお前に隠し事をしてるって言ったらどう思う？
Uh-oh.
実はオカリンとクリスちゃんは付き合っていますっていうびっくりなこと。
なぜそうなる？
でもね、オカリンとクリスちゃんはとっても仲がいいでしょ。二人はお似合いだと思うな。
そんな話をしているんじゃないんだ。
ああ、うん。全部話してほしいなんて思ってないよ。人質だからね、どっちかっていうと何にも教えてもらえないのが普通だもん。
そんな話をしているんじゃないんだ。
Aww. Mary's hand leaves my head. I look over my shoulder in a panic, thinking she wandered off again. She's there. I grab her hand, perhaps more forcefully than I meant to.
マユシーはオカリンの重荷にはなりたくないよ。
Again.
だからオカリンが言ってくれるまで待つの。昨日もそう言ったよ。
一生言わないかもしれないぞ。
それはね、とっても気になっちゃうけど、でもしょうがないかな。
その隠していることがお前に関係していることでも。
マユシーに？
俺はお前を傷つけたくなくて話さないでいるんだ。
そのせいでオカリンは辛い顔してるのかな。だったらね、話してほしいな。
Oh.
オカリンが辛そうなの見たくないもん。
それでお前は傷ついてもいいっていうのか。
Mayuri replies with a gentle smile. Okay. She nods without any hesitation. Her smile is so sincere it strikes me speechless.
昨日もさっきも言ったよ。マユシーはオカリンの重荷になりたくないって。あのね、マユシーがおばあちゃんのことで苦しかった時、オカリンはマユシーを人質にしてくれたでしょ。だからね、もしオカリンが苦しい時はマユシーが力になってあげたいってずっと思ってたんだよ。マユシーなんかじゃちっとも役に立たないかもしれないけど、
Useful. Suddenly I remember. Mayuri's going to die tomorrow. I've been through it once before. She died protecting me and her last words were,
やっとマユシーは
So this is what she meant.
だからね、これ以上辛い顔しないでほしいな。
わかった。
If that's really how she feels, then I'll tell her everything. I let go of Mary's hand and pat the sofa beside me.
ここに座るんだ。
Mayuri does as she's told.
おやつ持ってきていい？
No snacks.
お前は空気が読めないな。
そうだね。
Mayuri sits up straight with her hands folded in her lap.
じゃあ、どうぞ。
これから話すことは全部事実だ。お前が見た夢とも関係している。そして俺はこの後お前のために仲間を犠牲にするつもりだ。
おかり。
Anxiety clouds Mayuri's face, but I ignore it and take her chin in my fingers. A switch has already flipped inside of me.
せいぜい後悔するがいい。この俺、狂気のマッドサイエンティストである法王院教魔が行ってきた恐るべき所業の数々を聞いてな。
And so I begin, speaking as the mad scientist whose foolish experiments brought everything to ruin. I start with the first raid on the lab. I tell Mayuri how Mocha killed her. Next, I tell her about Suza and Ferris, about Luca, Mocha, FB, and Nay. I describe their fates in every detail. And finally, I tell her about Kirisu.
すなわち、マキセ・クリスを生贄として、俺は新たなる世界へと旅立つのだ。
There was a lot to explain, and Mayuri kept asking questions, desperate to understand the strange concepts I was throwing at her. Thanks to that, the conversation went longer than expected. It's already getting late.
以上が、この俺、法王院教魔が考えた壮大なる計画。その名も、メイドインヘブンである。
Okay, JoJo reference. Finally, it's over. Mayuri says nothing. She's staring at her hands, which are clenched into tiny trembling fists. She looks ready to cry any second.
なぜ、そんな顔をしている。
Mayuri shakes her head and bites her lip.
おかりんも、クリスちゃんも、苦しんでたんだね。なのにマユシーは、のんきにコスを作ってた。こんなの、バカみたいだよ。マユシーは、何にも知らなかった。
お前が責任を感じる必要はないのだ。全てはこの俺による計画なのだからな。幻滅したか、マユリ。だが俺は仲間を平気で犠牲にできる男。故にお前がベータ世界線に行きたくないと言っても、それを聞き入れるつもりはない。お前には俺の人質として絶対に最後まで付き合ってもらうぞ。世界に訪れる混沌、これこそがシュタインズゲートの選択なのだ。
Mayuri ignores my performance. She gets to her feet and lurches toward the door. Wow. I quickly grab her by the wrist.
おい、どこ行く？
クリスちゃんに会いに行かなきゃ。ねえオカリ、クリスちゃんに会いたいよ。
There's no way I can refuse Mayuri's request. Wow. I think that is a great place to leave it for this, so that's episode 41 of Steins Gate. If you like videos like this and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. Let me know what you want to see next, and as always, thank you for watching. I've been Boog the Goob. May God bless you, and peace.